Yes, this is Love and Sparkles, aka Cindy. For you that are returning, thank you very much. First timers, glad you're here. If you would like to come back and see us more often, hang out, hit subscribe, hit the little bell, make it turn dark, and then that way you'll know when we're here. Um, this is just a chatting with friends. Chatting with friends. I did finish the blue winter landscape that I was working on. Put lots of bling in that. It turned out absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. I will have a video coming up on that of where I used what and, how I did it, but it looks great. Now I'm working on this one. This one is little kittens. I don't know if you can see that. Little kitties under a Christmas tree. And what I did is on the box here, I used green metallic sparklers, and then I used ABs, yellow ABs on the box, and then 666 ABs on the ribbon, and then the green sparklers for the green. So I've just been doing that because my phone is over here just going absolutely bonkers. The one I use for find out, to be able to type and answer y'all, it is going bonkers. So I just kind of pulled out some ABs, and I can't find my white, so I had to pull out the bag. I had it last night, can't find it today. It's like if I didn't have my head attached, it would be gone. Head would just be gone. Gone, gone, gone. And since it's Christmas time, my mug is a snowman. Cold coffee. Because, yes, it is cold here. I looked outside just now, and it's just a white covering on the grass. And I got to take trash out and go get mail. And I'm really not looking forward to that. Yesterday, I didn't make my live because I had spent the night with my daughter on Tuesday night so that I could watch the boys on Wednesday when she took my granddaughter to go get her laser surgery treatment on her leg. And I was coming home, and I mean, it's like the last couple times I've tried to start the car, it didn't want to start. And so I took it to O'Reilly's and said, "Hey, I'll get a battery. Can you take the old one out and put the new one in?" Well, the old one is inside the car. It's under the dang seat, guys. And he was like, "Well, I'll go out there and I'll take it down, but you got to do the battery." So he uncovered it, took up the flooring that you got to take up, but I couldn't figure out how to get that thing off there. I tried for like 40 minutes, and then another guy tried, and I was like, "Hi, Miss Lady Bananas." And I mean, I tried. Tried. That thing wasn't coming up for nothing. So I was just going to take it to a dealership. Then when I got home, I thought, well, I'll watch a YouTube on it and see if we can do it. And supposedly you can. I told my son, I said, I can't see what I'm needing to see. I can't see. His hands are in the way. I said, but you're used to working on cars. Maybe you'll get it. I just need you to, when you're here this weekend, take the battery out. That way me and Grandpa can run in town and we'll drop off that and get a new one. And then maybe if I see how you take it apart, I can put it back together. It's crazy. Makes stuff so crazy. Something about vent hoses and all kinds of on a battery. It was like, what? And they were like, their explanation was when your battery's charging and discharging, it actually puts out gases that could be harmful, which, okay, I can see that. I didn't know it did that, but I can see that. So you got to have a little vent hose that you got to hook to the side of the battery so that it can vent those gases out. Why put it inside the car? Put it outside the car. It's where they've always been. I was just like, oh my Lord. Oh, my stinking Lord. So did that. And then I wanted to get some wine because I'm looking at, it's going to be cold, being locked in for a while. So I went ahead and stopped and got some wine. That way in the evenings, because I'm trying to get some sleep. I might not. Editing and probably listing. Editing and listing or editing and listing, whichever one. Yeah, I've got to do. Just got to go in there and do it. I need to get you all another Black Friday up. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing. I just go over there and like look in the box and pull it out. So that's how I'm doing them. And I'll tell you the wolf one, the wolf family. I am so glad I got that. I really am so glad I got that because the pictures do not do it justice, guys. The picture just does not do even taking a picture of it does not do it justice. In person, that thing is gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Don't worry, man, that I can't either. And half time I type it the way I want it, and my phone changes it and pops it out there. And I mean, it'll change words, it'll change context. It just makes its own thing. Supposedly now autocorrect will recorrect a whole sentence the way they think it should be. So no matter what you write, it may not be what goes out. I mean, I'm just like ready to kill it. Because like I'll type it in Southern slang and it'll retype something totally different. I was just like, what the hell? And then I stopped and got, because told my kids for Christmas, I am not cooking. Y'all aren't cooking. I said, we'll just buy pizza, throw pizzas in the oven. That way everyone can open their stuff and the ones who want to go home can get home, because that's how they are. Yeah. Come destroy the house and then leave. Peef. Um, I've been actually since I have been doing the stash videos. This is the third stash painting I'm working on. I mean, the tree that I did that was like light on one side and then dark on the other, that came straight from my stash. And then the blue winter landscape, oh, excuse me. And that one was a 50 by 70, guys. That was big. It was huge. And it's done. Got it done. And I'd like to put it on some foam board so I could put it up above my mantle for winter. But it's gorgeous. And I put sparklers and I um, put sparklers, I put metallics, crystals, and ABs in that one. And these that come from, that were old Alley stash videos, they don't have any ABs in them. So I'm just kind of adding them as I go. I've added a few on this one. Like on the ribbon, I made the ribbon on the present ABs, and I made the actual wrapping paper parts of it AB. Because I don't know about everyone else, but I love the sparkly metallic-y wrapping paper. So I said, that's boring. That's not what I would use. And then on the tree, I'm going to use some ABs and some other things on the ornaments just to spruce up the ornaments. Because who wants a dull tree? You got to bling the tree, the presents, and the ornaments up. Let's see, what else? What else? Yes, it is like right now it's dropping. I think it's down into the teens right now. It's snowing. We got a light layer of it. So it's supposed to get down to like 6 degrees tonight. That's gonna be cold here. I've already went through the house and turned all the faucets on and got all the cabinets open and that kind of stuff so that I don't get no frozen pipes because I don't want no frozen pipes. Frozen pipes are no, don't want that. But I'll this afternoon go over there, make those and schedule them to go up. I might do one today and then maybe tomorrow or after Christmas. And that way it's not being lumped in where I'm competing against the Christmas what is that? All the premieres coming up. Because, I don't want to have to compete with them. That would be hard. Don't do so well at that. Let me put my banner up. Banner, 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 banner. Nope, that's not it. There's banners. Banners, banners, banners. No, don't want that. Okay. And then we go back to comments, and there we go. Yeah, our wind chill is supposed to be minus 17 in Arkansas. Minus 17. Minus 17 in Arkansas. I was just like, whoa. I haven't seen temperatures like this here ever. Now, up in Maine, they were normal, you know. Up in Maine, by the time we were doing trick or treating, I would have the kids in a snowsuit with their costume over the snowsuit because that's how cold it would be in October. By now, we would have a couple feet of snow on the ground. Yeah, we'd be starting our snow till June because that's about how it worked. We would have snow till June. Went and got my hair done, and it's getting really light. I mean, it looks kind of, I don't even know what color you'd call this on here, but yeah, we've got it pretty lightened down. So it is pretty lightened. I don't know if you can tell. So we got most of that red, bright red out. Now I mean, in person, it's more of a blonde. Hi, blondes and gems. Thanks for coming. And unfortunately, I guess I've been called an enabler. Berta got a hold of me last night on my second Black Friday video, and she was like, "Ah." The minute you said T-Ma, because I said that when she contacted me and said that she didn't have that photo, she goes, "You're not going to be an enabler." And I told her, I was like, "Well, the minute I saw that photo, it was the phoenix, but it was the tree." And I had all that blue background with all the stars in it. You could think just bling in them stars. And then it had like that gold rope that went all the way around the tree, and I could see using metallic gold in that. And then it had some stuff in the, oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah. I said, I saw T-Ma and I had stars in my eyes. And she says, oh man, I went back, saw that, really saw the actual colors in it and the drills in it. And she goes, yeah, hey, thought. I was like, sorry. And evidently, um, Nyx actually, she said, you enabled me. She goes, when you unboxed the druid, she goes, I went and bought them. And then now she thinks she might have two of them. And I was like, oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. But yeah, he's going to be pretty hot. He's going to go across from Lady of the Forest. But I will do a video after I finish the kittens. I'll do one that shows like the kittens, a close up of the kittens. And then I'll show a close up of the winter landscape and then the fall winter tree. Because actually, it's kind of neat going through your stash and saying, oh, I really like that. I'll do that. Instead of just doing them big, gigantic ones. Like this one's 50 by 40. I think it's a 50 by 40. Let me see. Because this is a Huracan. Again, I'm a Huracan's in it. And, they have their stuff on the side. And it's huge, huge. So I just cut it off and use it. And, yeah, 50 by 40, 36 colors. So, and then like oh God, I can't think, 'cause I don't even put them on my tree anymore, but the things that go around it, these right here, I'm going to put some 5200 ABs in there. And then there's a couple of like multicolored balls that I'm going to put. I have some cantaloupe and other colors. I have a bunch of colors. So I'm going to throw all of them in there. We're just going to bling the little tree ornaments up. So, yeah, I'm good for that. Good for that. I do need to get my floor vacuum. I hate dragging out that vacuum because I got to put all the dogs' toys away, which they're probably going to run to their toy box and stick their snouts in that box and start tossing stuff all over the room again. That seems to be their thing. It's how they roll. How they roll. And this, let me see, who's this one from? This one is from Dawn Marie. So we'll open it up. I want to show no pertinent information. So I'll do it this way. And this is one where I just went to her site and was like, ooh, those are pretty. Because I saw someone unboxing some of hers. And I was just like, those are pretty. So I went and picked up a couple. The other one is actually a present. Ooh. A candy cane spoon. That's cool. Those are good for hot chocolate. And let's see. A little thank you card. And this is her deets. That's pretty on there. And this is her. There we go. I'll put her Etsy store down in the details. And then she'll just send you a little thing of thank you for your order. I love these little things. All right, let's see what else is in here. Looks like more candy. Oh, my froggy. Ooh. And this one looks like just an extra because I don't think I ordered this one. Cover minder. And Life is a Highway. That's going to go on my table over there. Life is a Highway sticker. That will definitely go on the table. What else is in here? A Merry Christmas sticker. That's pretty. And a bat gnome. Or a gonk. I don't know. He don't have eyeballs, so I guess he's a gonk. You know, that's been the newest thing going around. If they don't have eyes, they're gonks. I've always known them as gnomes. But if they don't have eyes, they're gonks, and if they have eyes, then they're a gnome. But that was like, oh my god, okay. Oh, that's pretty. It's pretty, pretty, pretty. Another color reminder. These were not that expensive. I think this one was like $4. That's not bad. $4 or $5. Isn't that gorgeous? And do I need cover minders? Not really. Do I buy cover minders? Yeah. I even make them. I'll go to Hobby Lobby when they have their brooches on sale, and then I'll buy their brooches and rip off the pins and make them out of them. He's so cute. The little froggy. And he's like in a little froggy tuxedo. That is just adorable. There we go. So that's those three, and that was Dawn Marie. Now it's Millie's. This one came from Oh Snap Crafters Cafe, and I was in her and T-Maw's event, and I won one of the wheel draws on her part, her live. If you won in her live, then you got stuff from her shop. If you won in T-Maw's live, well, I love that organza bag. And I started collecting them because, you know, my event's coming up in September and October. Me and Cindy Michelle from Dynamite, is it not? No, not Dynamite. It's Diamond Painting Fanatics are doing a live together. And I guess with her, you get samples too. So you'll get a few samples of the round frost. And they're round, but you could almost get away with putting those in squares. And then here are the two I bought. I guess I'm going to have to buy a refill so I can refill this thing when I want to. Ooh, that smells so good. I got the unicorn farts. And I got the hand. There we go. The Hamsa hand. And what it is, I won $15 in her Etsy store. And then the other one I bought, and it's in a cauldron, and it says, tried to make dinner, but accidentally summoned the demon. That could be my grandchildren when I feed them. But yeah, that's mine. So I bought 4, and I got 5. So that's not bad. I just got to get them where they quit landing on each other. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Put that back. You don't need 3 magnets because the magnets are so strong. They've all got the neodymiums on them, but they keep trying to crawl toward each other and jump up and go. Ah. So that was my small shop haul, and I'll put the Uncrafty Crafters Cafe, and I'll put Nana's what doesn't even have it on there. But I'll put her shop on there. Let's see. Here it is. Here's a card. My brain went dead. Nana's Crafty's Gyms 0.2. But I'll put her info, and I'll put Uncrafty's info on there and get that on there. So it will go down in the description. As soon as this comes down, I'll pop it in there. That way it'll be in there. But those are pretty cool. I mean, yeah, they're kind of big. Like this one's huge. But that would hold your stuff, that's for sure, because it's weighted. And then, the frog, I think I'm going to have him out on most of my stuff. I'm in a froggy mood. So, him in the hand. One time I had 11 during the event, because all the people who donated cover minders, I also got one. So I had like 11 cover minders, and someone's like, I've never seen you. Is there a reason why you're using 11? And I was like, well, I'm just trying to show what everybody donated. So I was just like, well, why you got 11 on there? Yeah, they weren't really. I mean, I think I spent 15 at Nana's, or 10 even, and then I spent the 15 that it was like $15 worth. So I mean, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. With the one that's rough is whenever I get it and I see one of these that I want. Those get rough. Because these are like $60 by the time you're done paying for shipping. So they had one. Now they're throwing their pink ones out there. I wanted pink forever. And now they're throwing the pink ones out there. It's like, no, don't throw them out there now. It's like, no. And then, of course, I'm going to have 10 cover minders come with all these Black Friday, Cyber Monday hauls. So it was just like, oh, my goodness, I'm going to have them coming from everywhere. Hi, Tijuana. That time, actually, YouTube, you popped in a lot quicker than on StreamYard. So I guess StreamYard's got the lag today. Wow. And they have a new one for anyone that does them. It's called MView, and it's EMVUE, I think. Or MVOW or something like that. But I might play with it. But you have to do it with the laptop. And I do most of my stuff with phones. I'm a phone person. That's where I was. Like, I used to watch YouTube just on the TV, and people don't realize that when you're watching it on the TV, it's really hard to get to where you can even find the like button or a thumbs up button, because it's not really easy to find it. So it was like, So usually what I'll do is I'll have it on the TV and watch it, but I'll have it on my phone so that I can comment and then hit like. That's how I found to be able to actually accomplish that. Because otherwise, I was just like, yeah, I'm not getting very far with this. And I've actually thought about possibly going ahead and getting the yearly subscription to StreamYard so that you can have your picture or your um, logo up in the corner, and you also get where you can do overlays and stuff like that. Now, I have figured out how to put text on my videos. If you've noticed, to where like in spots I'll put a little comment up. So I've learned how to do that. I've learned how to stick pictures in there if I need to. So I'm slowly, I'm old. I'm slowly getting it. Because oh man, it's it's rough on the brain. It's rough on the brain. So I hope everyone's almost ready for Christmas and caught up and now just able to sit back and enjoy it all. And I might even get some like hot chocolate and I bought some whipped cream, put whipped cream on top of it. Right now, this is just coffee. And you would not think this little mug would be very big, but it holds like 12 ounces. I was surprised. I was surprised. Surprise, surprise, surprise. So, is everyone ready? Or are you just sitting back and working and lurking in the background? This is going to be so cute. I forgot I even had this canvas. It is so cute. It's just got kittens that are laying in front of the Christmas tree, whacking a ball around, and presents, and fireplace in the background. I forgot I even had it. So if you're not in my my brain in my Facebook group, I do have a Facebook group for the channel, and it's just the same name, Love and Sparkles, and that's where a lot of people don't do. I mean, no one does it, but it's basically supposed to be like the Crafter's Corner or whatever it is, to where you can pop your stuff in there too. I've got a page specifically set up where you can go in and put all like your links. I got one for your YouTube channels and one for small businesses. So you could go in there and pop your links up right at the top, up in the top, like the what is it, announcements, or up in the announcements, so that people, when they come in, they can pop their YouTube channel link and their I know I'm a nut. It's like I don't. I this crazy flu or whatever it is nuts. Because you'll start to feel better, and then it just hits you, and you'll start to feel better, and it's like I'll get really tired and just go to bed. And I mean, it's either I don't sleep or I sleep forever. It's like really weird. My doctor was like, "Okay, I told him. I said, "Well, as the one he's trying, he put me on 1 milligram and said, well, we might need to." Well, I tried one, didn't do a thing. So like the third night, I bumped it up to 2. Well, at 2, it did not do a thing. Did not do a thing. I mean, it was like nada. So I went up to 3. 3, I'll sleep for 2 or 3 hours, and then I'm right back up. And I was like, and he was like, yeah, that's not working at all. So we're gonna try a new one. And I was reading, and it was like one of the things with it, I'm gonna have to hide my car keys because it was like sleep driving and all this crazy stuff. So I was like, that one I might just take and just like lay down and just lay down. That way I don't do none of that making salsa and have salsa on my ceiling. I've heard so many stories. I mean, I sit there and I knew I worked with a girl, and this is what she did. And it was with Ambien. She went home, took her Ambien, got in bed, and she watched HSN all the time. And she didn't know she did it, but she had gotten up, got her credit card, and bought like $500 worth of jewelry. And she did no clue until all these amethyst bracelets and rings and all these things started popping up in her front door. Like, here's your package. She's like, oh my God. I mean, when I was on morphine, I bought mascara. It's like, hey, don't give you a credit card or any way to when you're on that stuff, because yeah, you'll buy stuff, not even know you bought it until it gets to your house. New people that would get up and eat all the ice cream in the freezer and be accusing the kids and the husband of eating the ice cream until she found it all over her nightgown. Another one sat there and what did they do? Oh, they sat there and was going to make salsa, and they put all the stuff in the blender, but didn't put the lid on the blender and was like, hit that blend button, and salsa was everywhere in their kitchen. And then funniest one was my ex-manager. He come in, he said, yeah, I took an Ambien and I had a beer. And I was like, that's not a good combination. He said, evidently not, because I remember getting dressed for bed. He goes, but then evidently I got up, got dressed, went down to the bar, picked someone up, went home with them, but was on my phone professing undying love to his ex-wife, which all his girlfriends, and he had many, were seeing this on Facebook, and he didn't remember doing any of it. And he's coming in and he's going, man, I don't understand what's going on, but my ex-wife's been blowing up my phone and this one's been blowing up my phone. And I'm like, have you looked at your Facebook today? And he's like, no, why? I said, you need to look at your Facebook. And he was like, oh my God, I hope my truck has tires on it still. Because he had it parked at someone's house. It was like, I laughed. I said, I would suggest not doing that again. Or hide your phone, hide your keys, because I was just like, yeah, that was not good. I mean, because he had no clue, none. Didn't remember any of it, none of it. It was like, no, I thought I got dressed, went to bed. He said I woke up at someone else's house, had no clue what was going on, didn't know I'd done all that all night long. I was like, hey, you had a gay old time. So you gotta watch with those. Gotta watch. Because my mom she would watch those shows on ID with all the criminal and you know criminal true crime stuff on it, and so she was kind of on the paranoid side. And so when she took Ambien, she'd always be looking at the blinds, and my dad was like scared that she was going to escape and get outside, not know where she was. And I was like, yeah. I said that it's either you take it and go right to bed and go to sleep, or if you don't. I remember the first time I ever took one. I remember I took it and I thought, well, I'll work on the computer till it kicks in. And then I noticed that my keyboard looked like it was crawling across the table. And then my monitor's like walking across the table. I mean, it was just like, moving across the table. So I thought, okay, I guess it's time to go to bed. So I'm walking to bed down the hall, and I was passing by where my utensils were and sticking in the utensil holder. And they looked like they were literally trying to crawl out of it. And I get to my bedroom, and the pillows looked like they were crawling across the bed. And I was thinking to myself, and we give this to old people. No wonder they go crazy when they're in the hospital and you give them Ambien. And they do too. They go nuts. Whoop, nuts. Because if you don't go to sleep, it makes you, I mean, yeah, you see crazy stuff. When you're sitting there and the stuff around you is like walking across the table, it makes you like take a second look. You're like, whoa, what the heck? Because, that's not supposed to happen. Not supposed to be the way it works. Um, has anyone tried on their phone? If you work off your phone now, you have a button that says you can do live to live. So from your phone, you can hit that button, and if you got a friend that does YouTube, you can pick on it, and if their phones, they're on your phone, you can actually connect with them and do a two-person live on YouTube through your phone. I thought that was pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So yeah, I got my fireplace going because it's getting kind of chilly in the house. All the boys, they went out and then they decided it was, sprinkling snow, kind of cold, well, not kind of cold, really cold, and they decided they wanted their booties back in the house. The break-in doggies broke in the house again. Hi, Travis. Thanks for coming. But yeah, well, I shouldn't even call her break-in dog, because she knocks now. She don't break in the window no more. She sits at the front door and just whacks at the screen door until you come let her in. And I don't know how she does it, but she gets the door open to go out. I was like, yeah. I said, you're good. But she's decided she likes it over here much better than over at Dad's because Dad makes her stay out. And she gets to come in. She'll come in here and I'm basically feeding 4 dogs now. She'll come in, get her a bite to eat, and then she'll go in my bedroom because I have 2 dog beds in there, and she'll go curl up on the dog bed, and you won't even know she's in there until you hear her at the front door knocking to get, whacking at it to get out. So it's like, yeah, I think I've inherited another dog. So I'm up to 4 dogs and the cat. Oh yeah, she can figure out how to open that front door. It's like I don't even know how the dog figured out how to tear apart that window. Because she really literally did. And I've literally to the point I have a big piece of wood stuck in front of it to try to keep her out of there. And if she really wants in and no one's letting her in, she will go over there and drag that piece of wood out and try to get in the window. It's like smart dog. Very smart dog. The cat, if she thinks there's a mouse somewhere in that kitchen, it'll sound like someone's in there just having a fit because she'll be slinging stuff everywhere. I went in there the other day and she had stuff all knocked off counters and in the cabinets, and I was like, "What are you doing? Stop!" Now, at least I don't think there's any mice left. I think they finally got them all because I haven't heard her slamming and banging for a few days. It was like, good God, it's actually kind of crazy. I am all ready. Hello, Judy. And yes, I am all ready for Christmas. All presents. I even wrapped the dog's dog bones when they came in. I was like in a wrapping mood. So I wrapped the dog's dog bones. But so they're under there. My daughter's like, yeah, they're going to figure out they're under there by smelling them and get into it. I said, no, they're still in the boxes. So I should be safe. I should be safe. And then, of course, I had told my daughter, told all my kids what I got for their kids. And what she get? She got my grandson the same thing I got him. And I said, I told you I got that. And she goes, Mom, I can't remember my name at the end of the day every day. She goes, how was I supposed to remember that? It was like, good Lord. I guess I told him, I guess he gets 2 robot because I bought him a robotic dinosaur. So I said he gets 2 robot dinosaurs. That way, when his brother wants to fight him for his dinosaur, he's got 2. He can share. Because sharing is not their forte right now, let me tell you. Babysitting him yesterday was quite interesting. And I asked Mom, are there, Mom? I said, what do you want me to give them for breakfast and lunch? She said, oh, they're self-sufficient. I was like, okay. And so when they asked, I was like, your mom said you're self-sufficient. They come out with cookies and Cheetos. And I was like, uh-huh. Yeah. I was like, well, she said you're self-sufficient. So that's what I'm going with. But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, are you supposed to have that? Well, you said go get what we wanted. This is what we wanted. It's just like, and I was so tired because I'd been up all night. I literally, that last video of the wolf family, I did it at my daughter's on her living room floor because her table was trashed. So I did it on living room floor. So that's what I did during the middle of the night while everyone was sleeping so I could get that video up. So, but let me tell you guys that painting, I was really shocked because I thought it just gonna be oh no. It was just like, oh my God, I love this. But I know I need to get some of these stash ones done. So, and all, of course, so far, I think I've come across 2, 3 pour glue in that whole massive piles I've done. I got another about 15 up there I need to go through. And I know a couple are poured glue, but the rest are all double-sided adhesive. So I'm having to deal with that. This one actually, the Hurricane, when I pulled off the cover, because I've gotten where I'm not fighting with them, I just slowly peel them off and chunk them and then just put release paper down. Because as it sits there and it starts to do that where it's unrolling and it bubbles up, that's how it pulls the tape up. So I was just like, nope, we're going to pull it off real gently and it's going bye-bye. So this one had no bubbles, no rivers, no dents, nothing. So far, the drills have actually been pretty good. So for a Hurricane, that is amazing because Hurricanes are usually the who we can't. You know, that's the thing about who we can is who we can't. But the bad thing is it had no inventory sheet. So I literally cut off the side, photocopied it, made my stickers with my Xyron for my bottles, and then I just use this and have it sitting in front of me for the side. And just do it that way because I found that was a little easier than trying to look over here because it only has the one. It doesn't have the one on top, one on bottom. It just has the one on the one side. And it's the one that has like the number of drills. And yeah, I was like, I don't need all that. Don't need it. Ooh, frogging. Yeah, that works. Oh, yeah. I found out the base of my phone holder is metal. And I can just pop all them right there. So they're all happily hanging out. So they're not crawling across my desk trying to. We have 5 now. Trying to get to each other because they were all like, ah. And I also found, there's this Sparkle Queen. Her tweezers are rounded. They're also kind of on titanium, so they have that color shift, but they're rounded. Let me see if I can get this word to focus on it instead of me. There we go. I was like, those are different. But I was just trying to get a dog hair. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. And I mean, I just now bought some more because I have some that I can grommet something, but I've been noticing they're doing it with the clips, the shower holder, shower hooks that have the clip at the bottom, and they just put it on oh man, why can I not think? A curtain rod. And they're doing that, they paint down the sides or, you know, put tape on the outside to strengthen the sides and then just kind of frame them out. They're doing that for framing. So I was like, that's an idea. And then I saw one where someone took yardsticks, just go buy some yardsticks. And those are pretty cheap. You can go to Home Depot, and those are pretty cheap, and they're very thin. So you could cut those real easy. And they just measure it to size, and they put one on the front, one on the back, and they either tack them or glue them. Because you could, put glue on either side, and they glue it to the top, they glue it to the bottom, and then they're taking a ribbon and tying it up that way. So that would be kind of an idea. That'd be very cheap. They paint you could just buy spray paint those pieces of wood, and then glue them, and you got frames. So that's kind of an idea. It's kind of like a cheap magnetic frame, and instead of, because even the magnetics, I still glue. I take E6000 and run it down wood and then put it on the picture. So I mean, when I put the picture up, I'm just gonna have to roll it with the frame to it. But yeah, because otherwise, the way that the picture sometimes could just slip them right out of there. So yeah, I'm different ways because framing is expensive. I think Nick says she paid $250 for her frame. Yeah, no. I'll spend 22 to 30 for a frame. And sometimes you can find them in, but it just depends on how many people are out there buying them, whether you can get them. Because used to, I could just walk in Walmart and they'd have 2 or 3 of them, and I'd snatch all 3 of them. But now you can't find hardly any of them, and they're over in the the poster frame area. They're called mainstays. And I was able to get one big enough to frame Fiesta fireplace. Is what the Fiesta fireplace? And that was the Christmas tree with the fire and the red chair and the grandfather clock. Found a poster frame big enough to frame that. And it was like $28 for it. So I'll pay that. I'm willing to pay that. At Hobby Lobby, I was going over in their stretched canvas area where you can get the pre-stretched canvas and then you just kind of spray some adhesive and then wrap them around and I'll staple them down. And I found some really close to size ones over there. So, but there you got to catch those on sale because they're like $20-$30 for the big ones. But you could catch one of those on there 50% off and pay $15 for a big stretch canvas. So just make sure you walk through your Hobby Lobby and check out that area. Art supply holders, bead holders, stuff like that, because you can do stuff with it. My roller I love my roller. I gave it away as my first giveaway, but my roller is actually a fondant roller, and it's wood. It's about, well, let me grab it here. This is my roller for my kits. And so it doesn't have that where it gets stuck squishy, and it's got the short handle so you can get some leverage on it, put some weight on it. It doesn't crack your drills, doesn't damage your drills. So, and it's like $4. $4. Oh, but you have to go over to the cake making area and look for a fondant roller. Oh, yeah, so I look in the cake area and get that. These are what I'm putting in. Look at those. Aren't those gorgeous? That's what I'm putting in the green bows on that picture. Like it's got little bows on the, well, no, they're leaves and they're on the wrapping paper. And then in the actual ribbon, the red ribbon that goes around the side, crossed and over, I'll use AB 666. And then I will take 5200, which is the 141, and just go up the sides of it. Yeah, and see, was that with the 50% off? Because I know most of their frames are usually 50% off. But yeah. And then, of course, the other colors I've found so far in my little stash has been this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. So far, that's what I've been using in this patient. I'm just right now down in this corner. So, yeah. I just like sparkles. I like them in real life. I like them on the pictures. Like I have, what is it, Bubble Fairies? The Randall Spangler. It's the one with the dragon in the bathtub with all the bubbles coming up. And I have that one, and it's in my bathroom. Sucker's huge. 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 And then I have my very first diamond painting in my bathroom, and that was the mermaid with the dolphins. And that thing, let me tell you, the lines, oh my God, if I get up close and look at that. Well, that's not bad because that was before the 50%. He was able to get it for 30. And I used to be able to make mats. I mean, easily. But of course, I don't have the equipment now to make mats. But when we were up at, what base were we at? I think when we were in Rapid City in South Dakota, they actually had love that base. They had a car shop to where you could take your car in. It had lifts. It had all the tools you could want to do anything. So you could rent a bay, get a bay for 2 or 3 hours. Take your car in there, be able to put it up on a lift, do all the stuff you needed to, have all the mechanic tools you needed, and then bring that. And they had that available to you. And then for us women, we had a ceramic shop to where you could go in there, get your greenware, do whatever you was going to do to it. They had all the glazes. They would do the kiln firing for you. You could go in there and do your work. It was awesome. Awesome. Did massive amount of that. And then they had a framing shop to where you could go in and learn to how to make mats, how to make frames, make your own frames. They had the wood, they had all the mat board and everything. So I mean, I did that for quite a while, made some really cool frames and some really cool mats. But of course, we don't have anywhere out here in the real world where we can do that. It's like, hey, I want to come make a frame and just be able to go in there and buy stuff at cost and use their equipment. Now, there was one place in town that was for scrapbooking, and they did have something like that for scrapbooking, but I think it's gone now. And then we had a shop that had that for ceramics around here one time, and that's where I did all my ceramic work. I would go to those shops, hang out with the women. It was great, pick a project. Did a whole chess set and like dragons and hobbits and gnomes and whole chess set. And then learned to dry brush and make like Hummel looking figurines. I mean, but you get this. They just don't have that anymore because it was like you go in there and you meet friends and you hang out and you just talk and do the work. It was great. And even at Maine, they had stuff something similar to that, but they would have all the things that you could want. And they had an area that had all the equipment that you would need to do it. And you just say, I need to rent the room for this hour or these 2 hours. And you would pay like $10 an hour to rent the room. And you had the equipment, you had everything you could need. All the saws, all the drills, all the everything, the presses, because a lot of with framing is that putting it in the press and yes. If you don't have the equipment, it's really hard. Really hard. So I wish they had stuff like that out here, in the real world, because that was on basis that they actually put stuff like that for the if you're in the Air Force or Army or whatever, for their soldiers, for their off time, give them something to do. So I really miss that. I do miss that. I mean, I could go over to my dad's, but he's only got the table saw, and he says, "No, I don't even want you touching that because you might cut something off." And I'm just like, "Oh well, whatever." Now did I buy the saw? I think I have a rock saw that I bought that's out on my back porch for the bigger rocks so I can cut them down. And he's even leery about that. And I said, this one's not supposed to be able to cut you, because it's flat. It just cuts the rock. Don't ask me, I don't understand. But it's not supposed to be able to cut you, but it can cut the rock. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. So I think in March is when I'll start throwing rocks in the tumbler again. Because, yeah, I think it's fixing to be cold for a while. It was like, yeah, I don't even want to turn it on and mess with it when it's cold. I'm just going to let it sit out there, do its thing. But it's like, yeah, no, 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 no. And at one time I had a big enough house that I actually had a kiln in my house. I had a room that was set up, and actually I had a pool table in there, and I used it for my quilting. I throw my stuff, on there and rock, pull it down. And I had all the glazes, and I mean, I had tons of hobby stuff. Now I think my quilting stuff's in a closet. I really don't quilt anymore. And now I just diamond paint. Just diamond paint. And I still haven't got bored with it. Still love it. It's kind of like cross stitching, but without poking yourself for one, without having to have 9,000 strands of, because I don't know about anyone else, but I would actually have just about every color I was working on poked in the edge of my couch and have thread on it so that I could just pick it up and pull it up and do that. So yeah, this way you have it in your little bottle and you don't have to worry about threading it. You don't have to worry about it tying in knots on the back of your material. And yeah, because I mean, I did just as complex cross stitches as I do with diamond paintings. You know, I would do the ones where you'd have to put 3 different threads together and do quarter stitches, half stitches, you know, and all that crazy stuff. So, yeah, I did really complex ones. I did one that took me 9 months, and it was a dragon wrapping around like an island that had a little rocky cliff on it. And it was wrapped around the cliff and came over the top of the cliff, but you could see his tail coming out of the ocean. Really cool, but it was, I mean, every time you worked it, everything was 3 different colors of thread. So you would have to get 3 different colors, put them together. And I mean, the whole thing was that way. It was so complex. So complex. I was like, whoa. I said, you don't pick nothing easy. Evidently, I don't do easy. And I was like, why would you want to do easy? You know, easy's not a good concept, evidently. But yeah, so I'll definitely get the Nana's Crafty Gems down there for if you guys want to go check out her site. And I will get Oh Snap Crafters Cafe down there. And then, of course, I'm using the next shrimp boat. And this one is the Sassy Lemon. And I didn't used to not want this color. And then I was like, you know, that's a really pretty color. And so now I'm using the Sassy Lemon. It's like, yeah. And I've actually ordered 2 gremlins, you know, because the gremlin stays square, comes out to here. So it's perfect size. And then it has the lid and then the locking mechanisms in the little spout. So I was like, yeah, I want some of them. So I got me some of them. Like, do I really need them? Not really. Do I just want them? Yeah. My roommate, her parents talked her out of coming. And I really hate that because so many bad things have happened to her since then. And so they talked her out of coming. And so she was like, I don't know, maybe later. Right now, they want me to stay here. Well, she stayed there. And then, like 2 weeks after that, and they don't really come see her. So I don't understand it unless it's just a control thing. But she was going out her house and tripped and fell. And when she did, you see, what did she break first? Her ankle. And she broke her ankle so bad she ended up having to go have plates and screws and that. But you know what? No one stayed with her. And I was like, is your mom staying with you? No, my dad won't let her. I was like, what? So she's by herself. They'll come check on her once a week, twice a week, by herself trying to do stuff. And she fell, you know, because she's like me. She said, me and crutches aren't getting it. I said, use the walker, use the walker. I said, me and crutches didn't do good either. Well, then she fell and landed on her wrist, and she shattered her wrist so bad, they're not sure if they can repair it. They've done a couple surgeries on it. Now I can't get her to answer the phone or contact me. So, oh, yeah, I'll definitely show the gremlins when they come in. I don't know. No, she does her own finances. I don't know what it is. Almost like a power thing of like, no, we want you here. We want you to help us, and she is in no shape to be helping anybody. You know, it's just. I mean, I love her to death, and she's my best friend, and I know we could get along because we live to get. I mean, not together, but like side by side, and we're always together. I mean, like I just walked in her house, she'd just walk in my house, and we really got along. So I knew we would do well, and it would be someone to give her some help, you know, and then I would have, you know, someone for help. And it was like they were like, well, no, we don't want you to go that far, and it was a bunch of crazy stuff. And I was like, I feel for her. I really do. Unless they thought maybe she was going back to her ex, but I'm not her ex. And if she did, she'd be crazy. Because she's the one that her ex tried to shoot her. Well, actually, he did shoot her. He beat her in the head with a rifle butt and fractured a bunch of bones in her skull, and then shot her in the abdomen and tried shooting her in the head, but just grazed her head. So, yeah. So I really feel for her. Really do. So yeah, it's just me and the four furries. I went from three furries to four furries. Tommy, what you got? Tom, come here. Come here. Okay. Making sure it wasn't something he wasn't supposed to have on him. I mean, yeah, because I think that it would have been better for her because it would have got her away because she hates where she's at. And she said, they don't really come down except for just, every once in a while. And I said, it would give you company. It would give me company. You know, we would just be the two people out here just having a gay old time because pretty much, yeah, she was a hoot. I really do miss her. She was a hoot. Yeah, she was one of my besties. And I know she called a couple weeks ago and she said, I know I haven't called you back. She goes, but right now, she goes, I'll try calling you back sometime later this month. And then I haven't heard from her. And I mean, I don't know about anyone else, but people don't answer their dadgum phones. They want to text. They want to text, but they don't want to call. Everybody wants to text, but they don't want to call. Except my son. He would rather call. He's like me. I would rather call. I can say more than I can type. And now the phones just type what they want. You put one thing, it puts another. And then you look like an idiot. I'm slowly, guys, getting, because I have gotten to where I'm going through and doing that clean thing. Got up underneath my kitchen sink. Oh my God, that was awful. But cleaned underneath the kitchen sink, got everything put in the stuff that was, because I mean, the grandkids, when they would say, where's this? And I'd say, under there. And they'd go use it. Well, it'd be empty. And instead of throwing that trash, I just throw it back in here. I found so many empty containers. I cleaned out under the island. I had boxes and boxes that had snacks and stuff that when they emptied it, they just threw it back under there. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I would rather call too because you get to, you get to talk to them. You get to actually talk to a person. You hear their voice. You get to converse. Um, you can actually say more. I can say way more than I can when I type because typing in me, not good. It's one thing. I do this. Boop, 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 boop. No thumb. Just boop, 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 boop. So it takes forever. But I went in my closet. Oh my God. I felt like, who was it? Imelda Marcos? I did not realize I had that many shoes. That many shoes. Oh my God. Did not. I went in there and I knew they were what? I mean, half the closet was just a pile of shoes. But you couldn't see what they were because it was just a pile of shoes. So I went in there and actually put all the shoe sets together where they matched. So I have all and lined them up. I felt like, a crazy person. I don't know how many pairs of the ankle boots and tennis shoes. And oh my Lord. I mean, whew, I guess that when I was having my manic spending expenditures, I really had a gay old time because I will never need to buy another shoe. I am I am hooked up on shoes. But I got that closet done. The other side's got a couple bags. I'm just gonna pull them out, dump them on my bed, and then keep what I'm gonna keep, throw what I'm not, and then pack the bags, put them underneath the bed. So almost got my whole closet cleaned out. Got under the sink cleaned out, under the island cleaned out. So I've got almost all of under the table cleaned out. So slowly doing the major deep purging clean. I'm afraid to clean off this coffee table because I actually know what's here. And I know the minute I go put it all away, I'll never find the dang crap stuff again. And then I'll say, oh, I need that, and I'll buy it. And then I'll go in the craft room and dig around and say, oh, now I got three of them because that's what I do. I end up saying, oh, I need one of those, not find it, so I'll buy it. And then when I buy it, then all of a sudden two of them pop up. So I would almost rather leave it as a pile on my coffee table here so I can just kind of piddle through it and say, oh, okay, yeah, I got that. I was just like, oh, Lord. Yeah, you feel stupid when you do that because, I mean, you'll end up with tons and tons. I mean, I know I have tons and tons of trays, but that's because Nick's has so many colors, and I want the colors. I want the colors. I'm one of them people that if they have the same shirt and I like all of them, I'll get them in different colors because, that's just the way we roll. I don't know. It's like, it's crazy. And then, of course, I know the grandkids show up and they run off with them. My granddaughter has gotten to where she can wear some of my shirts, my smaller ones, and she'll like, can I wear this? And then it'll disappear. So it's like, hmm. And then before I lost all my weight, I gave all my nice sweaters and stuff to my daughters and them. And now that I'm like in the middle of the two weights and there's one sweater I want back, I ain't getting it. I can tell you that right now. My daughter's like, nope, 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 nope. She goes, you gave that to me? That is mine. I love that sweater. I've been looking for another one of it, and of course can't find it, but love that sweater. And I don't wear jackets. I wear kind of like sweater. They're sweater material, but they come down in almost like a wraparound cap, no, Kaftan or whatever, but you can just wrap around. That's what I'll wear for winter jackets. I don't wear a jacket. I mean, it doesn't get cold enough long enough here for me to wear one unless I had to be out in it for a long time. And the one I did have, I gave to my daughter. I had one of those heavy duty ones. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. I bought me some shrimp boats because I didn't have any shrimp boats. But I told her I'm not buying any more right now because I want to see what they're coming out with. But when she popped that gremlin up there, I wanted the gremlin. And I went ahead and got a couple of them. Oh, let me go get, I'm going to have to go put the doggy out. I'll be right back. Okay, baby, I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. That was the break-in doggy. She was at the front door, went out. And so I stopped at the box because what I'm doing is for my unboxings for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I haven't even really looked in the box. I just opened the top and I'll just grab one. So this will be the next unboxing. And it will be self-portrait. So that'll be the next one coming up. And it's a Dakota Dotweiler or Dateweiler. And it is, let's go big one. It's 55.8 by 83.7. So that'll be the next unboxing for that run of them. I think it'll be number 4. Yeah, except for those tall ones, the way I hold mine like this. Let me see, like this. And if it's the taller one, I'll hold it like that, and it'll start pulling those tops in. I got super grip. the next call, she said, "What are you, the Hulk or something?" Because literally on my event one, it started to actually pull in the sides. So it was like, ooh, I'm gonna put that down. So I just kind of put them down. But the shrimp are where I can actually, they're tough enough that I can hold them. But I like to hold them for some reason. I don't know. That's weird. But yes, and that is a gorgeous canvas. It is. So I'll have 2 by her, but I'm going to do the tree for her at the event. Because, yeah, I had pictures of bling. I mean, that lit stars up my eyes because I was like, ooh, the stuff I could do with this one. That's the one that has that gold rope going around the tree. and it has the blue background with all the sparkly stars in it. I was like, oh yeah, I could do some stuff with this. Yeah, yeah. Because at first I wasn't going to buy it. And then the more I looked at it, I was like, ooh, yeah. Because you could get a lot of sparklers and just pop in that baby. Because I love sparklers. They actually look different. They actually have a different look to them. And then there's different sparklers that look different. They got the new sparklers. Well, actually, these are just metallics. That's why they're square. And then the sparklers are the ones that are made of glass. They're literally made of glass, and they come in a totally different kind of container. It's a weird, harder plastic on the back. That's Randall Spangler. I love Randall Spangler. I love the dragons. I love the dragons. I've got a couple of his that I need to do. I got one that's a conversion, and it's the ice cream sundae one. And then I have a couple up in my stash still, and then I did the bubble fairies. Yeah. Where it looked like the girl dragon hanging out in the bathtub with all the bubbles coming up out of the bathtub. It's just so cute. It is so cute. And then I have one over by the toilet. Yeah, over by the toilet. But it's a picture of a dog sitting on the toilet reading the newspaper. And so I'm about to switch that one out with some kind of frog. I got a frog over here I think I got it framed up, and I'll put the dog reading the newspaper in my portfolio because he's been up for a while. So I just switch them out. Just play rotate a picture. Yeah, his are so fun to do. They really are, because those dragons are so cool. I did the one where it's the dragon reading the books to the kids. I think he has two little baby dragons, and he's reading the book to them. And I did that one for my son-in-law or not my son-in-law, for my grandson for his birthday last year, and it turned out really nice, really nice. And I mean, those dragons are such cute colors. I like him and Stokes because she does a lot of the mythical dragon stuff. Um, you see, what is this? Selena Finich. She does nice, beautiful work. Beautiful work. I like Dakota's. There's some of hers that I really like. And then Chuck Pinson. Got a lot of Pinsons. Got a lot of Pinsons. Same for you, Judy. Y'all have a fantastic Christmas. Have safe holidays, and be careful because I don't know where you live and this blizzard, stormy things coming in. I mean, even with my heater, I can tell it's getting colder outside. I don't know what it is, but it's starting to feel a little chippy. So I got the fireplace on, and that I got long sleeves on. So yeah, it's just I can feel it in my hands. I did break down. I don't know about if ever, because most of us in here have some kind of something. And I have fibromyalgia. I've had it for years. And evidently, the longer you have it, the worse your symptoms get. Well, I finally got to where I was having the hand and feet pins and needles, not the total where you can't feel them, but that like they're falling asleep and they're tingling and the pins and needles. And so my doctor was like, well, let's try this. And so she put me on the gabapentin, the Neurontin. And I can actually say I can do this, and it doesn't feel like walking on your feet when they're like asleep and you're trying to wake them up. And it's the pin. I can do this and not have the pins and needles shooting through my hands. So evidently, it is helping. It is so nice because it got to where I didn't even have to touch them for them to feel like that. And then you're diamond painting, and so your hands just like going crazy because you're using your pin, and yeah. So those of you that have fibromyalgia and you have the pins and needles in your hands and feet going on, yes, it does help. I mean, I put off going to taking it for quite a while, but it does help. It's worth it for the help because I mean it was bad, Because when I went in there, she said, I make you come see me every 3 months, but do you have any issues that you need? And I was like, actually, this time I do. That's most of the time I don't. Everything's just the same. And I'm not a big complainer unless it's something I can't deal with or fix at home. So it was like, yeah, this one, the turmeric and cinnamon are not working anymore, and I need to do something. Because that for my 5 months, that's basically what I was doing was cinnamon and turmeric. And it was like, yeah. Well, I hope hubby's visit went great, and he got all that done. I know, I think it's up to 36. I think I've seen 36 Christmas premieres now on the list. So they will have something for you to watch all weekend. So I'll have at least people I can listen to and watch on the thing. Because like I told my therapist, I said, I've really noticed it this year. Because, last year was like right after the surgery. So, at the holidays, I was just like, wow. And then the year before was after it happened. And so I was still, coming out of surgeries again. So for the last few years, I really didn't notice it. But I told him, I said, I really noticed it this year, because I don't have my husband anymore. My kids are grown. They've got their own kids. I said, and then you're just kind of there. I said, and most of the time when you hit this age and you're there, I haven't tried cloves and rosemary, but I might. But I told him, I said, I'm used to, me and my spouse would do Christmas stuff together. So you still had that Christmassy feeling. I said, but this year it's like me and the four dogs, they don't do Christmassy stuff. I said, so it's like, I said, it's really hit home this year. And he was like, yeah, I can see that. He said, I can see that. And he said, just try to think about it and you'll see him on Christmas, and find stuff to do. And I was like, okay. I mean, it's just like, I said, but, he was like, well, does it always bother you? I said, no, because usually I had someone around. So, like when my mom was still here, me and her would, hang out and do stuff. When I worked and I lived with my aunt half the month, I had my aunt. So it was like, this is the first one I've really noticed because it's the first one I have been, and I'm still in that process. And it is a process. It really is of learning how to be alone. It's like, it is unique. So yeah, I'm learning how to be alone, be in my headspace, figure out why, the whys and hows and the whats. And actually, my therapist, he said, I'm not going to tell you you have to go out and be around people and go find someone. I said, yeah, my trust factor for that's really low. And he said, yeah, he said, so I'm going to tell you it's a double-edged sword and look at the bright side. You don't have to deal with all the mess. And I was like, okay, I like that double-edged sword. I was like, yeah, I was like, I said, that's bad when I got you talking about that. And he said, yeah, he said, but I can see why. Because I told him some of the stuff that exes have done. He said, I can see why you don't trust anybody. He said, yeah, you have a reason to have trust factors. I said, yeah. I said, yeah, it's not been done well. So I hope everyone is having a fantastic season. Now, Tijuana, do you do like the clove buds and rosemary, or do you take clove and rosemary and boil it and like drink as a salve, or do you or drink as a tea, or do you make a salve out of it, or I mean, 'cause I know there's many different ways you can use them, or do you just crush them up, make a tablet and a capsule out of it? I know I was seeing like oregano tea. Have anyone ever heard of oregano tea? But they're saying it's really good for almost like an antibiotic and an antioxidant. Just taking oregano and boiling it and straining it and drinking it as a tea. I was like, I never thought of that. Kind of weird, but okay. In case you make a tea out of it. Okay. But I don't know if anyone has seen that where you can take oregano, and boil it for a few minutes, let it sit, make a tea, drain, strain it off, make a tea. But they're saying it's got like an antibiotic, antioxidant use to it. So I was like, I need to pull out my herbalist book, and actually I've got an herbalist class I'm in. It's just I haven't really. I mean, I was trying to learn all this stuff, and I can only learn so much at a time right now. But to sit down and what teas to make and to for what and to use this. And I used to make my own salves because they have and they didn't even have it this time. I went in there and they didn't have it. They're more they went more professional looking, and it's more just to grab the crowd. And it was more lip glosses and stuff like that instead of the salves and all that. But it's got like arnica in it. It's got comfrey in it. It has a lot of different herbs that do different things. And then you boiled it. See, you boiled it for so long, strained it, and then you put it with beeswax and melted the wax in it and got it together. And then you actually put it with Crisco and got all that together and then strained it off again and then poured it into a glass container or your glass containers. And actually, I sold it. Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. Just go buy some clove and some rosemary. How many cloves do you put in it? To how much rosemary? Like a teaspoon of rosemary, Mary, and one clove. But I know I made that salve, and I mean, people would actually buy it from me, and they got good deals because I used to make it in those little ball containers that are about yay big. They're about this big, and I would sell one of those for like $25. Whereas if you went to the frou place to buy it, you got a little container about yay big for like 15. So I mean, mine was a heck of a deal. But it was so funny because when I was making it, I didn't want to do it in my apartment, so I came out to my mom's because it really did smell. And my uncle come in and said, "My God, what is that?" My mom was like, "Yeah, Cindy's in there making some of her voodoo crap." And I was just like, "It's not voodoo crap." But I mean, you could like if you had bruises, like how the elderly get the bruises on their arms just from hitting, you could actually put that salve on it, and that arnica would just like dissolve that bruise in a couple of days. And your skin would be better because it had the beeswax in it, and I mean, yes, it was awesome. If nothing else, do you want to send me in a private message and send me how much clove and how much rosemary to put together? I'm slowly training myself to drink weird stuff. Because like right now I'm drinking valerian and peppermint tea an hour before I go to bed so that it starts relaxing me to go to bed. Okay. All right. I'll have to go buy me some cloves and rosemary. Oh, I have to do that. Because I mean, I actually love clove. I used to, and I don't know if anyone else remembers it, but they had the clove gum back in I was teenagers, so probably 70s, where they had one that was backstrap or something. It was more like a licorice flavored gum, and then they had a clove gum that was just it was like tastes like cloves. I love that gum. I found it about a year ago. I found it. I bought like every one they had. Now it's like hard as a rock. You put it, and I still chew it up because I love the clove gum. I like stuff with cloves in it. It's just I like cloves. I like the smell of cloves. So it was like, yeah, I could probably do that. And I like rosemary, so yeah, I'm gonna have to try that. But yeah, I need to start looking through my books, because it tells you drink these teas for this reason, and drink these teas for this reason. And am I as good at going out and picking my own anymore? No, I used to be able to walk around out here in the country and say that's this, and like yarrow. And so, I mean, if I had any cuts or something in my hand, I would just walk up to a yarrow tree, grab a handful of flowers, and just rub them up, and then the next day your hand would be healed. I mean, it was like great because yarrow's good for that. Well, now I can't remember, because there's two or three bushes that look similar, and I'm not as good now as at the foraging as I used to be. Because I used to be able to walk up and say, that's a this and that's a that, and don't touch that. And yeah, you can touch that. So not as good at that as I used to be. So, but yes, they do work very well. And in fact, Yarrow was in that salve. It's like they used to have a store here in town, but they ran her out of town because she had a bunch. I mean, she had witchcraft stuff, but she also had every every herb you could want, and she had every crystal you could want. Loved her store, loved her store, and I literally had gotten to where I had just about every herb. So I had a whole shelf of I say, okay, I want to make this, and I could just go grab from my shelf. It was awesome. It was neat to be able to do that. Now, not so much. But I am getting used to, well, I did make some rose oil, and it's finally to where all the red is out of the rose leaves. So I could probably empty that bottle, strain it, and then just have rose oil. But it was made from my mom's roses. They bloomed so pretty last year. I just went and grabbed, five or six roses and took the rose petals and kind of shredded them, stuffed them down in there, and then popped grapeseed oil over it to make my own rose oil. So I have that now. And then, of course, I read that mice don't like peppermint. So I sat there and took peppermint, and I had peppermint poured out in my kitchen so strong that you'd walk in there and your eyes would water because I put it under every cabinet where a mouse might be to run them suckers off. And actually, I don't think they're down there as much. Mostly now they're back in the back utility room, where the dog food's kept at, like, and they're in there, and then the cat will grab them and they're toast. Yeah. So that has been working fabulously for getting rid of them. And then I don't know if anyone else had any problems with like mice and pests and bugs, but they were saying to use baking soda. And it was baking soda and water, baking soda and sugar, or just baking soda. And vinegar was one of them. And either spray it around or pour it, like for fleas, just to take straight baking soda and salt for your carpet. And just pour baking soda and salt all over your carpet, let it sit overnight, and then vacuuming it up. Make sure when you go empty your vacuum bag, you're not do it outside way away from your house and put it in a bag and get rid of it because you don't want any fleas you picked up that might have survived. But they said usually that do it then and then do it again, and I think they said a week, and that should take care of all your fleas if you have fleas. And I was just like, well, that's a whole lot cheaper than buying the flea crap. And then, like, for roaches, it was like put out baking soda, just like a layer of it, and then wipe it up the next morning. And you can also like take baking soda and sugar and put it in little bowls and put it like under your sink and in the back. And they'll go to it, eat it, and take it back, and it makes them dry up. And then, what was the mice? It does something to mice. Makes them have gas and they can't fart. I love that. Makes them have gas and they can't fart. Did not know that mice cannot fart. I was just like, what? Okay. I mean, I don't doubt it. I sit there and put my notification as squeeze. If anyone has a Android, go make your notification squeeze, and you will die laughing because it sounds like your dog is farting. One of those just little itty bitty. And that's what, and I start, first time it went off, I looked at my dog and thought, you didn't, and he just looked at me like, what you look at me like that for? And so the next time, and then I realized it was the phone. So I quickly went and changed that Because it was just like, yeah, we're not going to have my phone over here doing little silent poofy farts. Because I was just like, oh my Lord, that's awful. What I need to go get is one of those little T-balls to where I can put stuff together in a T-ball and just steep them. Just steep them. I'm slowly getting my kitchen counters cleared off, except right now it's bad because I went and pulled like 15 more boxes out to do a video on the stash. And I think some of them I found, and yeah, they are on DAC now, but back when I bought them, it was before I even knew about DAC, so I didn't know about DAC, didn't know about licensing, so yeah, they're my car. The battery is in the back seat. And we tried for 2 hours to get that dadgum battery out of that back seat. We did get it started again. I drove it home, parked it, and I looked up a YouTube because I had 2 guys at O'Reilly's and neither one, they're like, yeah, we can't touch that. And then one guy was like, well, if you'll say you did it, I'll try. And so he was like, yeah, I can't. And so none of us could figure out how to get those plates off the top because we figured out, and still we didn't know, and we didn't know about this couple other things. So I actually watched a YouTube video on how to change the battery in this dadgum car. And so I called my son and I was like, well, I can't see what he's doing with those plates. I said, but you probably know, you're a guy. And I think it's born in your blood or something. I said, but something about a vent hose. I said, it's got a vent hose. I said, you got to unplug a vent hose. I said, and you have to do something over here, and supposedly that's a hold down. But then I can't figure out how to get, it's like, you know how usually on normal cars you got the little clamp and it goes over the post and then you just tighten it up. This is not that. It's a whole square assembly about this big that goes over that post, but I'm not sure, and screwed down to it. I'm not sure how. And so I was just like, I don't want to break anything. And so watched that video and I was like, well, that can be done. So he's bringing his tools up Sunday when they come. And he's going to go ahead and show me how he gets the plates off because I'll have to know so I can put them back on. But he's going to at least pull it out. And that way we can Dad can run me into town next week. And I can, because that way I can turn in the battery, get a new battery, bring the new battery home, hopefully figure out how to plug up this vent hose to it and put the holder down for the battery back to it and how to get those stupid plate things on it. Because I was just like, I've unscrewed everything and I was like, I've got everything unscrewed, but I can't, it won't come off. And so I could not figure out for the life of me how to get that thing off. So I was like, he was like, I'll get it, Mom. And so, and I think he can. When this kid was, how old was he? 18? I think he was 18. He was like, hey, Mom. And he had a Trans Am. Because we both love older cars. And he had a Trans Am. And it was so funny because he opened the hood and he had pencils shoved in places. He used to have me bring there was a lot of extra suction hose. No, you're a nurse and you don't need it. You chunk it and throw it in trash. So I would bring it home for him. Well, he had a bunch of those that he had cut up into pieces and had them stuck to different places. Then he had some things duct taped and he actually had the old wire hangers wrapped around a couple things. And I was like, what the heck? He goes, yeah, listen to it. Fired that sucker up and it ran perfect. And I'm like, so your car runs perfect with pencils, duct tape, you know, a clothes hanger, the old metal clothes hanger and hospital suction tubing. I was just like, okay. And when he brought a motorcycle home, and when he brought it home, he came in the house in a box, 2 tires, the gas tank, and something else. And he sat there and put that whole thing back together. And it ran. And he actually had it for another 8 years. I was just like, what? He said, yeah, they were going to throw it all in the trash. And so I just gathered it all up and brought it home, and I'm going to put it back together. And he did. So I was like, you'll be able to get it out. I said, just make sure you show me how to put those plates back on so I can put it back. Because it was like, but we did. We worked on that car for 2 hours. 2 hours. I think I didn't get home yesterday until like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was like, good God. It's like, this is too much. Too much. But it was like, we had this 6 degrees, and then the wind chill's going to drop it down to like between -10 to -17. It's going to be in there somewhere. So we're going to be in negative temperatures. And I'm like, it don't even want to start if it's been 30 overnight. It just goes that, and the guy looked at it and he said, yeah, he said, this is your factory battery. He said, this is the original battery. So this is a 2012 car and it's 2022. So that battery is 10 years old. So yeah, it's pretty much, it's on its last little limp. And I was like, I just don't know if it's going to start after it's -17. I just don't know. I just don't know if it's going to have that in it. So it was like, yeah. Why put a battery inside the car underneath the seat? I was like, batteries don't belong inside a car. They belong outside the car, up under the hood. It's like, how would you jump this thing? And it doesn't even have anything you could hook jumper cables to. So I'm not really sure. Not sure. I think the positive post sticks out and then you just hook it to somewhere in the front. Enough to drive you bonkers. And I mean, I can, like my Camaro, do I like getting in there? No, because that engine goes from side to side, front to back. There's no room for my arm. So I don't like working in there, but at least I know when I'm looking in there, what I'm looking at, and can say, yeah, this is messed up. This little one, the SUV, no. Mm-mm. And I remember my ex, because I had a headlight went out. And I mean, he was the mechanic. He did everything. And so I told him the headlight, he's off. I'll fix the buggy. And he was out there, and I heard so much cussing and ranting and raving and you name it coming from outside. And I was just like, holy crap. And I mean, he comes stomping in here and he said, that buggy needs a headlight again. He said, you're taking it to the shop. He had to take the whole front fender up by the headlight completely off the car to change the headlight. I mean, so you're going to stick your hand in there and screw in a little bulb, but to do that, you got to take off the fender. I mean, he was ranting and raving. And that's like my mom. She goes, I don't know how you can always handle him cussing at you all the time. I said, Mom, he ain't cussing at me. I said, he's out there working on that stinking car because he worked on the Camaro all the time. I said, and there is no room. I said, it's 1.5 inches to 2 inches off the ground, so he can't get underneath it. I said, and at the top, there's no room to put your arm anywhere in that car. So he's out there trying to work on this car that is, I think my package is delivered, that is just like god awful to work on. So I can understand why he's out there ranting and screaming and yelling. It's like, I got it. Because there is no room for nothing. Every time I take the Camaro to the shop, even if it's for something simple, it's a 3-month stay. Literally, it stays for 3 months. Every single time I have put it in the shop, it has stayed there for 3 months. 3 months. Because it was like, yeah, that's what happens when you have a car that used to be a race car. Because it's all engine. It is all engine. I mean, it's kind of cool. You take it in to get the oil changed. And I mean, all the mechanics in the entire place you're at all got to come play in your engine. They've all got to touch something. It's like, ooh, because you don't see this no more. I mean, it's a V8 for number one. Most of the time now they're 4s or 6s, so you hardly ever see a V8. So it's a big V8. It's got the air coolers on it and the big pipes. And I mean, yeah, she sounds like a vicious monster. So yeah, they love to come just touch and play. And I really need to take her in and get her oil changed and her tires rotated. I need to take them both in. And what I don't understand is I drive my cars very little now, and my insurance keeps going up and up. And I'm like, I hardly drive. I drive 200 miles or less a month. So I don't even drive 1,000 miles in a year, and it keeps going up. Need to call and tell them, hey, I'm not driving, 300 miles, 600 miles a week anymore. Because I used to do 100 miles a day easy just to work and back. And since I no longer do that, it's like I just don't have the want to go out there in the icky weather and deal with it. It's like, no, no, I'll stay home. It's nasty. It is nasty. But other than just needing to replace her battery because it don't want to, and then she's got some stuff with her sensors, but I know they're going to charge an arm and a leg for that. And it's stuff that I can work around, like it says, oh, you don't need to check your service or tire monitor sensor. And I'm like, oh, well, I'd be fine if I didn't have tire monitor. Like I'm my own tire. I go out there and check your tires. And I do. It sits there and keeps telling me my tire's low. I go out and I check it and it's fine. So I don't want to have to go pay a couple $100 just to get a sensor changed that tells me tires are low. It's like, use your head. If it's low, it's low. If it's not, it's not. It's like, God. And then the other one is my lift gate will open and close by itself now for some reason. And the workaround for that I've been doing is I just turn it off. I shut it and turn it off. And then when I need it, I turn it on, I use it. And then when I get back in, I turn it off. That way it can't do that. Otherwise, you'll be sitting in the house and your car's out there with the back of it just going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's like, oh, sometimes the electronics is not worth it. Just not worth it. And I don't know if anyone has seen it or not, but Miss Dime Fanatic Cindy is moving today. I think she's moving today and tomorrow. Or yeah, I think it's today and tomorrow that she gets to move. So she's got her keys, moving her stuff. So that's pretty cool because I was really, doing the manifesting, putting good vibes out there for her to get her house because I know how it is. Like I didn't think I'd get this one. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, it was like, and my ex-husband is the reason that I have this one because we were over there clearing some cemetery for my mom and dad, and he was like, "Yeah," he said, "Why don't you just because they're giving you 4 acres?" He said, "Why don't you just put a house up there?" And I was like, "I'll never get one." And he said, "Well, let's go, just go look." And so we went to the lot and we went and looked at one. It was really wild. We looked at one that was fabulous, but it was a mobile home, well, a modular home, and they wanted $130,000 for that thing. And I was just like, I am not paying $130,000 for a double wide, no matter how well together it put together, because they are these when they're called modular homes, they are put together so well that I mean, it's like I can't hear anything outside, literally. My dad, he can sit in his and he knows when someone's driving up down the road. Mine, no. If the doors are shut and the windows are shut, you can't hear nothing. And so, and I told the guy, I was like, yeah, I love this house. I said, but I just don't want to spend that much on a modular home. He goes, well, we have one that just came in. It's a repo off the lake. He says, if you want to look at it. And I just walked in and I was like, this is my home. And hi, Pauline. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But I was like, this is my home. And it was the kitchen and the bathroom that did it. And it was just like, and he said, well, since it's a repo, he said I mean, and it did. It looks pretty similar to the one that was $130,000. I mean, other than the fact that it's older, but it was the same. And he goes, it's only $48,000. So I paid $48,000 for it. Well, and then another 10 because you got to move it, and the setup, and then all that. And then, of course, you got to pay for the septic tank and to get your power and your electric. So that was probably another 18,000 to get it set up and everything else put in. But for the house itself was 48,000. So, I mean, and it's huge. It's huge. I mean, I got my living room, my space. Kids have their living room. They got a bathroom, a full bathroom, tub, sink, toilet, and then they have a bedroom back there. I have I turned one bedroom into, there was two back there, but I turned one into my craft room. And then you come this way. My master bedroom goes into a master bathroom that is just gorgeous, and and then you got the step up kitchen. And then there's behind me. There's actually room, but the way I got it set up, it splits it up into like a little walkway. My table with my printer and all that's over there, and have a table like a little where the alcove is, just sitting in front of it. And so it was like, that is perfect. I mean, it's a lot of room, a lot of room. Reason I know a lot of room because when I bought the roof, it was like, oh my God, put the roof on this thing. But it was, I mean, so, check into that because, I mean, just because it's repo, the only bad thing because of its repo is when they kicked in their back door, it's just off just enough that there's a little bit of, I mean, just a hair along the top of it where it doesn't sit level. And in the winter, I put tape over it so then, because I don't use that door. I don't use that. So it's like, I'll just put tape over that. So, and then of course they didn't bring me the one panel that goes, I call it married, where they marry the two. And for some reason they didn't bring that panel. And I've just never gone to see if I can find something to put there. I mean, I probably could just get a piece of paneling and put there. But what I did is I did the four ostriches, that's 8 inches wide and God knows how long, that's four ostrich. I did those and I have them up and down in that. It's like, okay, that's my solution for that. We'll just put the ostriches there. So yeah, ostriches look cool there. They do. They look pretty cool there. So those are really cute. Those ostriches. My son actually named them his whole family. He said, "Yeah, that's me, and that's Dawn, and that's John, and that's Stephanie." And you get to looking at them, and they do have the personality look. I was like, you're right. That is y'all. It's right on track. It's y'all. So, are y'all having big dinners for Christmas? We're doing pizza. We are doing pizza. I went and bought 6 pizzas, put them in the freezer, said I'll start making them around noon. And that way, when y'all get here, if you want something, you can zap it in the microwave, something to eat. Said, but I am not cooking a big meal. I know no one else feels like cooking a big meal. So we'll just have pizza. Pizza's good. Everybody likes pizza. So pizza's on the menu. I might give my grandson my apple crown because I just cannot do apple crown. I bought it thinking it would be kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it in Sprite. Maybe it'll be okay in Sprite. But apple crown is just kind of hot. Maybe in Sprite it would work because of the lemon lime. But it's just kind of different. Stick with my vanilla. I'll stick with my vanilla. But Tijuana, if you have any other Mexican home stuff like that, drop it to me in Messenger because I'll definitely use them, like teas and stuff like that. If you have bad cold and bad cough, and you're really congested, I know this sounds crazy. You think that woman's nuts, but take Vicks Vapor Rub, put it on the bottom of your feet, and then put socks on and go to bed, and it'll literally help. It'll might start a couple of days of that, and it goes away. So I mean, it sounds nuts, sounds wacky, but yeah, it does work. Things like that, the old ways. One reason why they don't really push them is if people use the old ways, then pharmaceutical companies wouldn't be in business. Because if you can go to your herbs and, get your things that way, you're not going to need all these drugs from pharmaceutical companies, and they're going to be out of business, and they don't like that. That's just like when people started using St. John's wort and echinacea and a couple of other ones that are, help boost your immune system and have antibiotic properties and stuff like that. They have flip fit. My son, he don't like doctors at all. And he was always going off of work, was driving him over the chain. Thank you, Tijuana. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But work was just driving him over change. His boss is, yes, that's Celine Dion, and it's my clock. My clock. Hear that, Facebook or YouTube? Clock. Clock on the wall. Because they'll give me copyright strikes for it. But literally, what was I saying? He was just like, he'd get red face and so I was, before I got put on regular medicine, I was on ashwagandha, which is like for mood support and stress, and it's just a bunch of herbs. And so I was like, okay. I am back. That was when my doctor put in for my new sleeping medicine, pharmacists wouldn't refill it until they talked to me and told me, when you take this, you get straight into bed. You don't go nowhere. You don't do nothing. You don't. The only thing is, he had said he was going to start it at 10, and they said no, they started at 5. So they knocked it down. So when they put in for my next appointment, I'll be able to say, hey, it either works or it doesn't. But we'll find out. Because, yeah, I have tried the valerian, and it helps relax me, but the one I was on just didn't do nothing. So it's like so tired of, like, I'd even take 6 hours sleep. 6 hours would make me happy. It's like, this no sleep is really sucking. Just, you want some Z's. So I hope everyone has their food planned out. I have gone, number one, we're doing that thing with Timo after the first of the year, where it's the new year, new you, where, people diets or whatever you're going to do. Mine was, I want to lose about 15 pounds. And so my way to lose 15 pounds was I was going to take sugar out of my diet. And yes, I know it's going to when I went keto, that first few weeks, no sugar. Sugar is the most addictive thing there is, and it's the hardest to get off. I don't know if any of y'all ever gone keto or taken the sugar out of your diet, but it is the hardest one to do. I mean, I remember walking around the house going, I would kill for some sugar right now. But once you get off of sugar and you have anything that has sugar, you will know it instantly because you will get an instant headache. Your stomach hurts. I mean, it is so bad for your body. I mean, sugar is the worst. And anyone that has like cancer, sugar feeds cancer cells. So if you can get yourself off of sugar, you'll drop weight. You will actually, your cells will start functioning better, but it's really hard. I do have to give it that. Very hard. Very hard. So I have been trying to stay sugar free. So like when the kids get up here, they'll get my little peppermint spoon. But I'm trying to stay sugar free, very low, similarly low carb, to try to not just bulk up on carbs. And I have lost about 5 pounds in a little over a week of just drinking water. I have my coffee, but I have sugar-free creamer. Um, and then try to stay away from sugar. Anything, cookies, cakes, snacks, anything high sugar. I know it works. When I did keto is hard. And right now, with me being on fixed income, it is expensive. That's the only bad thing about keto. It is expensive because you think about it. You're doing for your cream, you're using heavy cream. Well, when everyone went keto, heavy cream went from $2 a thing to like $6. It's like, oh wow, people want this now? We're going to really charge for it. So it went massively high dollar. And that was like what I would use in like cooking and what I used in cooking in my coffee, because my coffee was like heavy cream, a teaspoon, no, teaspoon or tablespoon of butter, and it has to be real butter. You don't do margarine, you do real butter. So it's all real butter. And I did creamer, butter, and then the MCT oil, which is fractionated coconut oil, which is very good for you if like when you're on keto, because it provides your energy. Like part would go to your liver for energy and part would go to your brain to, boost your brain. And so, that, but that you have to buy that. And it's separate. And it's like $10, $15 a bottle. And then of course it's all meat, and meat is sky high right now. And produce is pretty much sky high right now. So your produce, your meat, everything that was on the outside aisles of the store. If it's on the outside aisle of the store, that's generally keto. Everything that's on those inside aisles, not keto. So all the stuff on the outside aisles is like stinking high. I mean, it's high. So yeah, because I was down to where I didn't eat more than I think 14 carbs a day. It's like 14 carbs a day, but I had to have 90 grams of fat a day. And it would get really hard to get, believe it or not, it's hard to get that much fat. You have a great holiday too, Pauline. Thanks for coming. But it's hard to get that much fat in your diet. It really is. So you had to have 90 of fat, and then I'd had 14 of carbs, and then the rest in the middle would be my protein. So yeah, it's a very expensive. It works. I mean, it really works. I lost 70, 75 pounds on it, and I maintained it for like 2 years. And then whenever I had my, whatever you want to call it, with the doctor messing up and surgery after surgery after surgery after surgery, I started putting the weight back on. And then it's even with it trying to heal, you got to have the calories and you got to have for your healing and all that crap. And so it was like, yeah. So it's kind of, I'm not doing keto, but sort of in the middle, because keto is no sugar at all, low carb. high fat. I'm going to kind of do moderate fat, moderate protein, and no sugar. Keep the sugar out of it. And so it's like, yeah, okay, that's going to be hard, but I know I can do it. I did it before. I want to at least drop 15. I don't want to get too thin because I know for a fact. And my dad's like, oh, I want to get down to 106. I'm like, no, you don't, Dad. I said, when you're older, being a thin rail does not look good, and it makes you look even frailer. I said, so if you get older, you don't want to lose tons and tons and tons of weight because it doesn't look good. You don't look healthy. So I've been on here for 2 hours. So I think I'm going to bebop off. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for spending time with me. If you're new here and would like to see more and visit more, definitely subscribe. Hit the little bell, make it turn black. And then that way, if I drop something, you'll know. Come back again. I do a weekly live. I drop a lot of videos. I'm going to try to get quite a few of them done, and I'll just schedule them out over. Like I said, I'm going to skip like Christmas Eve Day and Christmas Day, and even maybe the day after, because that's when all the premieres are going to be coming out. And I don't want to try to go over them and compete with them. But I will drop a few because, like I said, I got still the Black Fridays to do, and I still got 2.5 shelves and 3 boxes to go through in the craft room. So what I'm trying to do is my shelves, once I get it empty, it's going to have one place that's going to say dragons, and that's where all my dragony pictures are going to go. Then I'm going to have a land state. Yep. I mean, even those would be better than sugar. Sugar is so bad for you. It is so bad. I can't even explain how many ways it's bad. I mean, it's so addictive. It's like nicotine. It's hard to get off of, and it does so many bad things to your body because it's processed. It's so processed. If you actually had the sugar cane and chewed on it, it would be less harmful than all the processing. And like I told my daughter, I said all the processing they're doing to the food. I'm wondering if that's what's up. I said because years ago, all the kids didn't have all the ADD. Hi, Polly. They didn't have all the ADD and ADHD and this and that and this and that. And people actually grew their food and cooked their food. But the more the food's being processed, the more our kids are having issues. The dyes they put in it. Like even my son, when he was growing up, I had to take him off of stuff that had red dye in it and something else because it would just make him go absolutely bonkers. So it's like, yeah, it makes you wonder what they're putting in our food that's causing issues with our kids. Because used to, you might have 1 or 2 out of 10. Now it's like you might have 1 or 2 out of 10 that don't have some kind of issue. So yeah, it's just makes you wonder because none of our food is really food anymore. When you can sit there and put a package of cheese in the refrigerator and it stays good for 2 months, that's not cheese. I don't know what's in it, but that's not cheese. So yeah, they put so much preservatives and dyes and crazy stuff. Well, I'm gonna hop off here. Sorry you just got here, Pommy. But on your way out, leave me a thumbs up. Y'all have a great day. If you just come in, I did do an unboxing of a cool cover minders. I got a frog. I got a hand. Let me see. There's the hand. There we go. There's the hand. And that's the unicorn fart, which really does smell pretty good. And then there's my little frog, my little froggy. And then this one's cool. This one. And that came off of Nana's Crafty Gems. And then I got a little cauldron. And then this was a free gift. This was a free gift from Crafters. Snap. Crafters Cafe. And like I said, when I get done here, I'll put their links up in the description box. So if anyone wants to go, I had 5 down here. What I do with one? Oh, there it is. And I'm gonna hop off of here, run down to my mailbox, pick up the package that it's just delivered, and I'll probably do an unboxing on it too, because it's a storage container, one I don't have. So, and then I'll do those multitudes that are up on the counter, and then I'll do this one. So I'm going to see, do some of my enabling work. And y'all have a great day. You have a fantastic holiday. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Yule, all of them. Whatever you celebrate, have a fantastic whatever. Just have a great time. And like I always say, just be nice. One little piece of niceness will make someone else say, "Oh, and be nice too." And just be nice, because there's so much not nice in the world right now. And y'all have a great evening, and I will see you in other lives, because I know we all just kind of float around together. I will talk to y'all later. I'm going to say bye, and y'all have a fantastic evening, day, morning, whatever, wherever you're at. Bye. I love y'all. Come back again.